Tonight's show should be brought to you by Bud Light. Drink them till you don't feel the pain anymore. I, you know, I don't want to say I expected this outcome because I didn't, but I'm not surprised by the outcome. It's a very Nebraska outcome. It's frustrating to watch your team go and lose a game they're supposed to win. What's more frustrating is watching your team who hangs their hat on having an offense that they spent the entire offense building, not scoring a single touchdown against a Minnesota team who's, what do we call them? Decent, mid in the Big Ten, whatever you want to call them. Nebraska scoring 0 touchdowns is inexcusable. It's embarrassing. And I won't get upset at anything you guys say in the live chat. Now, there will be some extremist responses. I try to keep a level head. I am pissed off. I am frustrated. I am disappointed. Any negative emotion you could possibly feel, I fucking feel it. I'm sure there's a comment that says there's a lot of season left. I'm sure there's a comment that says Matt Rule is no longer going to go to Penn State because now they're not going to want him, right? I'm disappointed in the way that this one went down. I'm disappointed in the offense. I'm disappointed in the defense. I'm disappointed, I guess, in the game plan. I'm disappointed that they weren't prepared when you know damn well what Minnesota's going to try and do, and Minnesota executed to a T. Minnesota fucked you up in the exact way we knew they were going to. Minnesota said, we're going to come after your quarterback. We're going to abuse your offensive line. And what did they do? There was no sneak attack. There was Dylan Raiola on his back over and over and over. How many sacks? 9? At some point, you have to call it disrespect. At some point, you got to move on from the main culprit. Maybe or maybe I'm not alluding to a certain thing. I'm sure the chat will understand. I'm sure the chat's already said it. What the fuck are we doing? It was disappointing. I was at a Nebraska bar tonight in Scottsdale at Whiskey Row. I was with a former running back. I was with Divino Zigbo watching the game. You know what he told me? He said, man, put 22 in, and I'm going to put this one away. Fuck, Divine. Even you wouldn't have been enough. Crazy that the offense couldn't do shit. Crazy that Dylan, there are so many good things to say about that guy, right? So many positive takeaways. The receivers, by the way, didn't execute tonight at the highest level. Isaiah Hunter, in specific, had a couple drops that were key. It didn't matter. They were losing either way. But my God, what is this deal with holding onto the ball for 44 hours? Nebraska has USC-level wide receivers. Why are they not getting the ball? Why is the quarterback on his back 9 times? It is so disgusting being a Nebraska fan. Sorry, I'm trying to chill. I'm not manic. I swear to God, I'm not manic. It's just I go through these emotional phases and I get really frustrated because I care so much about this team. I only get 12 games a year and I have to watch shit like this. Okay, DJ, thank you for the $5 super chat. We're bringing it back. Someone needs to be fired. This is unacceptable. First off, I agree with that. At some point, you have to say changes need to be made. Let's just move on. Let's give somebody else a chance to coach the offensive line. Sensitive subject, I know. Let's just try something different since this shit doesn't work. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to blow up the mic. I'm just frustrated. My God. Mike, thank you for the $5 super chat. Our O-line couldn't block Frosty the Snowman. Until that changes, this is what we get. It was Minnesota. This wasn't Michigan. Are you kidding me? I don't know what, so I sat in here with a lot of Nebraska fans. It's a Nebraska bar. It felt like being at it felt like being at Barry's, okay? I'm in Scottsdale. The bar was lit. The emotions that were felt were so deep, but the exact same thing kept coming up every single time. What the hell is going on with the offensive line? Disgust. Daniel, I didn't say it, Daniel did. I'll let you guys read it on the screen. That's why I popped it up. Daniel said it, not me. Ryan says, another funny comment. Look. There's a lot of season left. We're not going to be too negative. We're frustrated, but we're not going to be too negative. Andrew, thank you for being a member. Thank you for the $20 super chat. I got to take a fucking breath. Nebraska is 7-14 all-time in all-white uniforms and 0-4 in bowl games. We're go big red, not go big white. Year 3 and the O-line is still a disaster. Why do we keep wearing all white? And what do we do about the O-line? I don't give a fuck about the white. The white had nothing to do with today. It had the uniform shit, the curse shit. I don't care about any of it. The offensive line has been abysmal. The defensive line got rocked. The offense did not move the ball because their quarterback, who has so many highs, has too many lows. Spit on my mic a little bit. The white jersey doesn't have anything to do with it, Andrew. I got to calm myself down. Nebraska has issues that run deep. We're in year 3. We hoped that some of these issues would be resolved. For whatever reasons, they haven't. And fortunately, there's going to be an opportunity to make significant and serious changes in 2 months from now. Matt Rule, I believe, will be at Nebraska next year. And I believe there are some tough decisions coming. He's going to make them, because why the hell wouldn't he? Yeah, Nebraska's down bad right now. They still have a chance to win 8 games. They still have a chance to improve on what they were last year. They still have a chance to live up to the expectation that they can go over 7.5 and get to a 9th win with a bowl game, right? There's still hope. But my God, losing to Minnesota the way you did, not just losing, getting fucking embarrassed, getting your ass kicked when everyone's watching. There were people watching this game who thought, man, Nebraska's a top 25 team. This is finally going to be the moment. They're confident enough that they're going to wear pussy pink helmets and they're going to go out and beat Minnesota tonight. They tuned in to watch it. My dad is one of them. I'm sorry for my vulgar language. I'm not trying to be vulgar. It's just I'm so frustrated and the emotions overcome me sometimes. We need a filter. Someone get me a producer so we can filter my bad words. My dad texted me. He couldn't even watch the game. He turned it off to go watch the Dodgers. He called me before. He said, are you confident in Nebraska? I said, I'm not confident. Don't put a lot of money on it, but sprinkle maybe $300 on it. He did it. He's disgusted. He hits me up like, what the fuck am I doing? I can't even watch this team play. Time and time again, I get that text from him. And it's not only him. It's hundreds of people who I'm friends with. And you know what the main question is, or the main concern people rise is, why does Dylan hold on to the ball too long? Why does he hold on to it so long? Sorry. And why hasn't it been corrected after this many games? 20 games as the starting quarterback, 0 games as getting the ball out quick enough. What the? EK, thank you for being a member. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Tossing this your way because I'm too emotionally occupied to handle the impending negativity. GBR always. Peace. Thank you, EK, for dumping your 5 on me to get emotional or to save yourself from having to leave anything crazy in the super chat. I hope you're having a great night. I hope you find some positive to this Friday. I'm sure you've got plenty going on in your house, and you'll walk away from this and not be too stressed out or too worked up like I will. The problem for me is I've got a flight early in the morning. I'm not gonna be able to sleep. I'm so fucking pissed off. It's just, what are we doing? Thank you, Jacob, for the $5 super chat. Absolutely pathetic. Great word to use. Much better than my vocabulary. The O-line, the D-line, the officiating, the dumbass Husker fans blaming this on Dylan. It's not all Dylan. I'll promise you that. But Dylan not improving the way that he should improve is frustrating. So I will give credit where credit's due. These people are noticing one thing that's been common. Dylan has not improved in the one way we would hope he does, which is getting the ball out quicker. The offensive line is to blame, number one, though. The defensive line tonight was not any help. The receivers got to catch the ball, but it came on the offensive line. That's where it starts. And Nebraska would not have lost this way and this embarrassing of a fashion if the offensive line would have been serviceable, right? It's frustrating. I'm trying to take a breath. Collector, thank you for being a member. Thank you for the $5 super chat. This O-line is so effed. It might take longer than DR is here to fix. I hope for his sake he transfers. Honestly, it's the best move. It's so over. Okay, look. I can get extremely depressing. I can be extremely morbid, miserable, negative, whatever you want to call it. But I'm not going to sit here and wish Dylan transfers. I'm not going to sit here and pray on Nebraska's downfall. Look, I'm still an optimistic fan who wants the best for you, for me, for the school, and for everybody else who watches this team. There is a lot to fix, and it starts with getting guys who are competent. But before it starts with getting guys who are competent, it starts with getting the right guy to lead them. And right now, they don't have the right leader in place. That's my personal opinion. It is time to move on from Donnie. It is time to find somebody, Sam Pittman. It is time to find somebody who can get the ship righted. Once you get the right guy in place, you go and get the right players in place, and then we can talk about what the next steps are. I'm a believer in Dylan, 100%. This does not fall on him. It doesn't fall on the receivers, the running back. The line needs a serious reset, and it starts with the guy who leads the room. Daniel, thank you for being a member. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I just lost it. Give me 1 second, Daniel. I apologize. Sometimes chat just goes crazy. Okay. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. We need to work on the O-line. They look like crap. I turned the game off, but we got to lock in for the next game. Hey, I don't even blame you for it, to be honest. Like, there was a point in that game where I was like, the officiating's a mess. The offensive line's playing so bad. There's no way Nebraska's going to come back. I still had hope, obviously, as I always do, but you just knew the writing was on the wall. It was like the third quarter and the offense wasn't getting it going. And you're like, okay, any prayer we have lies on Dylan's shoulders. And right now he's not getting the ball out quick enough. The receivers aren't catching the balls and making plays. There's no way they're coming back. Minnesota's playing too inspired. So I respect it, Daniel. Normally I would complain when someone says they turned the game off in the third quarter, but not today. I'm on your side. I almost left that freaking bar. If it wasn't for my friends being there, I would have been out. Melanie, good point. She says, Pritchett out for targeting. WTF. Unbelievable. It was unbelievable. It's just a nonsense thing. But not because of the refs. I think Pritchett was the idiot who doubled down on his block. Pritchett, as much high as we've heard about him and as much as we've seen positive from him in the last few weeks as being the starting tackle, there are some things that you just don't need to do. And burying a guy into the ground after you've already knocked him off his heels, that's one where it's not necessary. So there were some questionable calls, you know, some PIs, some holds, whatever, some missed calls, but that one I wasn't too worried about. Just nonsense in general. And yeah, Pritchett's got to get it together. Max, thank you for the $10 super chat. Is it pulled up? My chat's frozen again. I apologize. Damn. Does this load? There we go. Max, it's thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you for being a member. He says, Uncle Donnie got to go. I mean, short and sweet. I'm not debating you on it. I'm not arguing you on it. I don't think the chat is either. Chat, say I. Chat, if you think it's time to make a change with the offensive line coach, the leader, the guy who runs the room, just put a 1 in the chat. Now, if you disagree with me, put a 2. I won't be mad at you. I won't judge you. 1 for get rid of Donnie. 2 for my chat's smart as hell. Every single one of you's putting a 1. I don't even need to tell you to put a 2. We all are on the same page. We live in a time where winning 9 games, like a James Franklin kind of guy, winning 9 games isn't enough. You need to be performing at a championship level. If Matt Rule's going to be a championship coach, he better have a championship staff. I don't know Donovan Raiola. He might be a good coach, but good isn't good enough. Doug, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you for being a member. I have been having this feeling the whole time. Uncle Raiola needs to go. Unfortunately, it's the nature of the business. It's the nature of the game. Again, he might be a good coach, but he's not great. Because if he was great, he would be able to make lemonade out of lemons. And right now, he's not doing shit. He's making lemons into sour lemons. I don't like sour lemons. Caleb, thank you for being a member. Thank you for the $5 super chat. O-line coach needs to change. Man, we're all on the same page tonight. Don't care what talent you have back there. No QB would be able to thrive in that. Positive comment of the night, Jacob. At least 5-2 and not 2-5. Thank you, Jacob, for bringing back some positivity to the chat, because tonight's been a shit show. I've been losing it. I know you guys in the chat have been losing it. It's morbid over here as a Nebraska fan, but it's okay. Nickel says, you were talking playoffs. Playoffs? Listen, I have many regrets in life. That's one of them that I regret. But it's, you know, look. Michelle says, don't chill. We want to hear you. Michelle, even if I say I'll chill, I don't have the ability to. I'm too riled up right now. Scott, thank you for the $10 super chat. This team is absolute garbage. I disagree with that. Listen. As much shit as I talk, as negative as I can be, as hopeless as I can sound, the team is not garbage. Now, they're not great, but they're not garbage. I don't see another win. Scott, thank you again for the $10 super chat. But you don't see another win? Brother, there are 3 more wins on the schedule. They might not win 3, but there are 3 more wins on the schedule. Actually, there's 5 more wins on the schedule. They could win every single game left on it. They've got USC at home. They've got Iowa at home, Northwestern at home. Granted, I don't think they're going to win 5 games. I'm not making this a projection. I'm just saying the wins exist if they go out and get them. Okay, coming back. Any competent quarterback with an okay to below average line, okay running back, will destroy Nebraska. So pretty much everyone. Matt should go to PSU, get a good coach. Hang on. So really quick. Michigan had a good running back. They had a good offensive line. They had a good quarterback, and they didn't destroy Nebraska. Same thing can be Same thing can be said for Maryland. Same thing can be said for Michigan State. And same thing 100,000 million% can be said for Cincinnati. So yes, off tonight's body of work, I would agree with you. If they played any of those teams tonight, they would have gotten face pumped. But that didn't happen in every one of those games. It happened tonight. Tonight is a one-off game, and you can't get too excited by one result. So let's not jump off the bridge yet. Trust me, I've got plenty of bridges I can jump off of. But tonight, we're just going to take a breath. It was what it was. It's one game. We're going to recollect ourselves this week, and we're going to go out and try and win another one. I promise you, that's what Matt Rule's telling to his team right this minute, unless he's in a press conference, which I don't even want to know what he's saying in this press conference. Minnesota's a really good team. I don't want to hear it, brother. 84 Cal. Raiola needs to be fired. I don't care if Dylan transfers. I hear you. Bands, thank you for the $10 super chat. Worst offensive line in Nebraska history. I mean, what are they even doing out there? TJ doesn't fix anything. He'd just be turning 10-yard losses into 7-yard losses. Lamar Jackson would die in this offense. The quarterback is not the issue, brother. I 100% agree with you. The idea that the quarterback change fix anything is nonsense. However, Dylan does need to get the ball out faster. If you know what your weakness is, let's try to prevent against the weakness raping you. The weakness is freaking killing us because you have a terrible combo. Combo is offensive line not helping, Dylan not getting the ball out fast enough. I'm not a football coach, so I don't know what the answer is. Maybe I am just delusional and I think there's a solution when in reality, that doesn't exist. Solutions don't exist for the problem Nebraska faces right now. So maybe that's what it is. I'm praying for something that's impossible, right? I don't know. Moss says, LOL told you. The most negative guy in my comment section. Larry says, no quick screens to Hunter. They ran a quick screen, I believe, to Cortez Mills. It didn't work. I don't think. I can't remember. Rule just failed his job interview. He isn't going anywhere. To be honest, this game has nothing to do with where he ends up if he was to leave. It has nothing to do with that. They're not judging him for one game against Minnesota. I promise you on God. The whole narrative of, oh, well, Rule's not going to get another job offer now. He's stuck at Nebraska. Good luck. He's getting job offers plenty. Don't worry. Max says, not a good game, but man, this fan base is emotional. Act like the world is falling apart. Because Max, we love this team so much and we have such high hopes. We're so psychopath about Nebraska football that we believe they should win the games they're supposed to win. And when they don't, it fucking hurts like a dagger to the chest, like one to the stomach. Which one hurts more? Anyone been stabbed in the chest or the stomach? Let me know which one's a worse pain. Max, it's okay to feel emotion when you invest so much in. It's okay to get down on yourself when you love something so freaking much and it doesn't live up to the expectation or hope you had for it. It just is what it is. Yes, we're emotional, but we take a breath, we recollect ourselves, and next week we're on to Northwestern, and Nebraska very well could win that game. I'm sure plenty of us will be on Brothrow betting on Nebraska -6.5 or whatever the hell it is, but that's not what we're on tonight. Tonight we're on talk shit, be emotional, be pissed off, and try to talk ourselves to sleep, because at this point we're not going to be sleeping the right way after thinking that this was a team who could make it to a playoff. Nichols, stop talking about Nebraska getting to the playoff. It's not happening. 84 Cal says, get Warren Buffett on the phone right now. Yeah. Who has Warren Buffett's contact number? Who knows his address? Go knock on his freaking door. Nebraska needs like a quick injection, like $4 million from him. Get a couple offensive linemen, $2 million each. They're not turning down $2 million each. Rushy, thank you for the $5 super chat. This team has showed they haven't turned the corner. This was the prove it game. They just showed the country they are the same tier 2 program as always. Okay, two things can be true. One, they are the same tier 2 program as they have been this year. But prior to this year, they were not a tier 2 program. They were a tier 3 program. So they have shown improvement in that regard. They have turned the corner in terms of winning close games against disgusting, against Michigan State, against Maryland, and against Cincinnati. Let's not get too down on them. There has been progress this season, and we can still think of it this way. Nebraska still has a chance to finish. I mean, they have a chance to finish with, God knows how many wins, 10 even. But Nebraska realistically has a chance to win 8 games, go to a bowl game, get a 9th, and have us all sitting here in December or January, whenever that bowl game would be, celebrating that Nebraska was able to make a jump from 6 wins all the way to 9, have a quarterback who's competent, have a receiving core who's coming back, an offense that should look a lot better next year, and hope, most importantly, that next year they could be a contender. So look, it's a little bit early to sideline this team and get too emotional. But yeah, in the heat of the moment, I totally understand your point, Rushy. I get it. Noah says there's a Nebraska bar in Scottsdale. Look it up. It's called Dirk Bentley Whiskey Row. It's freaking lit. It feels like you're at Barry's. I swear to God, it's all Nebraska fans. It was awesome. My friend Dave was there tonight. Dave, thank you for being a member. Thank you for the $50 super chat. Thank you for finding me in the bar, coming and saying what's up, taking a picture. It was awesome to see you. He says, great seeing you again, Connor. As I mentioned, no more rule to PSU concerns. Would have liked to see Latif on the final throwaway possessions. WTF was that game. Crazy they thought they were a playoff team. At least I can depend on Waymo. Waymo will get the job done. For those who don't know what Waymo is, that's the driverless Uber that will get you home with no issues. Nebraska won't be able to do the same. They will always give you a tumultuous track back to your bed at night, and you won't be able to sleep after watching them. But there's hope that they could win next week, and then you'll be able to sleep peacefully. Dave, I don't know if I would have cared to see Latif in the game. I don't know, like, what does Latif going in really do for Nebraska at this point, right? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, leave Dylan out there. Make the team feel their loss. Let's make sure that they have this taste in their mouth. I don't want Dylan coming off the side or off of the field, going onto the sideline, getting to chill. No. Make him taste it. And I'm not saying this in a bad way to be disrespectful towards Dylan. It's just, I think it's a good character builder when all your starters are out there and they get to feel the pain of the other team walking up to you like, man, we rolled your shit. We really fucked you up after we were the team who was, 4-2 and supposed to not be all that good. You guys are ranked in the top 25, come to play lowly Minnesota. You rocked pink helmets and we just worked that ass all night. Make them feel that. It's a good character builder, like I said. Brian says making average teams look great is getting old. I agree with that. Wade says put money on bigger, better linemen instead of special players that don't get open. Moss says give up the channel already. Moss, you can blow me. Jonathan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Disappointing loss and the worst we have played all year. A lot of work is needed. Let's move on and get better. GBR. Hey, I like the positivity. It's disappointing. It's the worst they've played, but there's only up from here. Plenty of wins left on the schedule. Jonathan, I appreciate the positivity. And I think that's how I'm going to end I'm not going to end the stream right now. I'm still reading chat, but like I'm going to end this stream when I do with the note that this was one game. Nebraska's still 5-2. There's plenty to look forward to. You've got a whole season ahead of you. We're in week 7 of 12 of Nebraska's season, right? You still have a bowl game ahead of us. Nebraska will go bowling this year. So we're not going to get too worked up. I'm just frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tough. I really wanted to see him win in the all whites. The all whites are so freaking clean. I really wanted to see him win in Minneapolis over a team who hasn't shown this year that they should be playing on the same field with Nebraska, a team that hasn't shown that they are, an upper echelon Big Ten school. But what they really did was they showed us that Nebraska's in that same exact bracket. There are 3 tiers of the Big Ten. There is the good, there's the great, there is the okay, and then there is the bad. And Nebraska is in the okay tier. The problem is the okay tier is the majority. The bad is like 2 or 3 schools, including Wisconsin, Purdue. You could argue Northwestern. But outside of that, everybody else falls into the okay. And Minnesota is just one of the okay. I was wrong. I thought there were 4 tiers. I thought there was a great, a good, an okay, and a bad. And I thought Nebraska fell into the good tier. I thought Nebraska compares to an Illinois, a USC, a Michigan, who else would fall into there? A Washington, a Maryland, right? But unfortunately, it's just a big cluster of average. It is what it is. 5-star says, I'm back to just beat Iowa. I mean, the good news is Nebraska will still have a chance at Iowa. Will they win against Iowa? I couldn't tell you. Zach says thoughts on the rest of the season for Nebraska. It's way too early for me to make a prediction on the rest of the season. I'm way too emotional to do that. So we'll talk about that later this week. Nickel says blaming the uniforms is more embarrassing than the game itself. Facts. I agree with you, brother. 100%. Can't blame that. Joe, thank you for being a member. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I don't see a comment from you. If I did, I would respond to it. Um, don't get me started. Says the sky is not falling. There is hope. Go Big Red. Thank you, sir. There is 100%. I'm being a little bit over dramatic, okay? I'm just pissed off. I'm frustrated. I was really excited about tonight, and it didn't go the way I hoped it would. I don't want to be a reflection of the entire fan base. I'm not. You know, some people are a lot more positive than I am. I'm just frustrated. That's all it is. Splurge says only rushing 3 and expecting to get pressure on the QB, allowing him to throw crossers all game with no adjustments. My Lord, I did not understand that at all. They got abused. The secondary couldn't tackle. The linebackers couldn't tackle. The defense in general couldn't tackle. It was so frustrating watching it because it was a few tackles that could have changed the game. It was a few tackles that could have given Nebraska the ball back, could have given them good field position, and they couldn't make it happen. Mike, thank you for the $5 super chat. Let this sink in, folks. They got 9 sacks, mainly with 3 linemen. They rushed 3 the entire time, and the offensive line didn't block them. They opted out. The offensive line just said, nah. Gunnar Gatula, I remember there was one play, I don't remember when it came in the game, it was in the 4th quarter, and he turns inside to give assistance to the guard, I believe. The guy on the edge comes free and clear, crushes Raiola. It made no sense. I was like, what are we freaking doing? Tampon Vampire, interesting name. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I don't see a comment from you. I would respond if I did, but I appreciate the support. 5-star says, Matt Rule needs to do a little less social media and a little more coaching. I don't really worry about that. We need to get some players in who can help assist in the rebuild, and they just don't have all of the right pieces yet. Remember, this team's very young, so I think that's more of the issue than the social media issue. Shelby, thank you for a $5 super chat. I saw this coming, especially everyone writing Minnesota off before the game even started. Now, Shelby, not everyone wrote the game off. Not everyone wrote them off. Nebraska fans specifically did. So it wasn't like you went to FanDuel and you saw that there was a heavy bet against Minnesota. More of the bets were coming on Minnesota. That's why the line dropped from 9 down to 6.5. So although I do appreciate and understand your insight, I disagree with that. Not everyone wrote them off. Most people thought Minnesota would keep it close, which they did more than keep it close. And Shelby, I know you're a Minnesota fan, so congrats on the win. Let's see. No one important says I turned the game off too. Doug, thank you for being a member. Thank you for the $5 super chat. It would make a big difference if we didn't overcommit on routes and tackles. It would. I don't know why the tackling is so bad. I don't know why they run past the guy who's carrying the ball. It just feels like they get into these moments where there's high pressure. They over pursue. They overthink. Who freaking knows what it is in their head that gets them out of character? Because there have been times when Nebraska tackles a lot better. 10X says pathetic, to say the least. They didn't want it bad enough. Yeah, they didn't want it at all. It didn't feel like the defense, the offensive line. There were guys on the team who did, but it wasn't a complete game. Larry says, as soon as I saw the pink N on the helmet, I was worried. I didn't worry about that, actually. I didn't think too deeply. Saray, thank you for the $2 super chat. 2 people on the D-line last play and still sacked Raiola. I didn't see the last play. I was driving home from the bar. I didn't need to watch it. I was so disgusted and disappointed with how that game went. I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to sit at this bar or turn on my phone and watch the last 6 minutes and 12 seconds? Or am I just going to drive back and start to contemplate how I open this show? Because I know there will be plenty of people who are frustrated and share in my sentiments. So thank you, by the way, for being here with me tonight, guys. I would have a lot longer of a night and more disappointing and frustrating of a night if I wasn't able to vent all of this out to you. College football with Sam, thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate you always. Thank you for the $5, by the way. Minnesota set a program record 9 sacks. Are you? Fire Donovan Raiola tonight. Just move on. You fired Sam Pittman early in the season. You fired James Franklin last week. They're firing coaches left and right. Let's just move on. Let's just do something different. Let's stop doing what we know doesn't work. Program record? It's disrespectful. I asked this in one of my streams when Nebraska lost another game. Does Donovan Raiola love his nephew, or does he just like him a little bit? Right now, it feels like he likes him a little bit. Out of respect for your blood, just move on. Do something different. Let someone else take a stab at it. You know what I'm saying? Do you love him or do you like him? Right now, I don't think you either. Right now, you just want him to get abused. 9 sacks? Program record? On a night when Nebraska was favored? Disrespectful. Geez, Nebraska has allowed 25 sacks through 7 games. Sam, I don't want reality tonight. You're not supposed to be here spitting facts on me. I want to be able to sleep. Minnesota was 61st in FPI. Changes are needed. Sam, I would appreciate if you do a video for me and for my audience this week breaking down where Nebraska needs to make some changes immediately. Like, what's the 911? I have some thoughts, but I'd like to hear your 911. You watched the game tonight. You've watched plenty of Minnesota. There is urgency needed in the football office. I know it's not traditional to fire position coaches during the season. However, Nebraska has made some changes in the past, i.e. Marcus Satterfield and Dana Holgerson. What could Nebraska potentially do different? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Let me take a breath. Chase, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member, and thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. Many things were going against us. Short week, fair. But Minnesota had a short week too. Minnesota always has our number, and we play like crap when we do, when we're ranked. So, of course, we play like crap. O-line sucks. Defense sucks. Tonight calls for a damn drink, brother. I am three Bud Lights in. So I already started warming up because I didn't want to be in a position where I wasn't early enough. You know what I mean? Had to get myself started. I pre-gamed at the game. The whole short week argument and being on the road, you can argue that would throw the team off a little bit. But when your team comes out flat and your offense can't score, the offense who is supposed to be the leader, the offense who ranks top 10 nationally in points scored per game, the offense who's supposed to carry you to victory, cannot score a single touchdown on a Minnesota team that is mid. That is the issue. Not the short week, not the white jerseys, not the pink helmets, not the fact that Nebraska's ranked, not that they're in Minneapolis. The problem is that Nebraska's offense isn't up to snuff. The offense needs serious help. We knew the defense was going to have issues. We knew the line was going to struggle. We knew they weren't going to tackle as well. We knew that the DBs were, undersized in some ways. We've talked about that in the past when Nebraska got rocked by SC, couldn't defend other bigger receivers when they played against Indiana last year. We knew the weakness on that side of the ball. We thought there'd be more improvement on the other side. So I think that's the frustrating part. Eagle says first quarter, I was like, okay, this is going to be a defensive game. Then it went to shit. Yes, sir, it did. Ray Koning, thank you for the $10 super chat. Bro, get pissed and yell. We are all doing that at our house anyways. Even my wife has yelled, getting rid of the ball with the QB holding it all night long. All good though. Vent and reset GBR. If you guys want to hear me freaking yell and you just tuned in, go back to the beginning of this video. You can drag the scroller back to the front. I was ripping in the beginning. I'm more calm now. I'm a little bit more reset now that I'm reading some more extreme mistakes than I have. But yeah, we've been going off tonight. Zach says this isn't a 5-2 team. If this team plays a tough schedule, they're 2-5. Could be. Husker says, thank God I'm used to this. We all are. Thank God. Deontay says, spin a smoke that Husker pack. Have fun. Bad for your lungs. Cancer ensuing. But if that's what you want to smoke on, good luck. Make your dream. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Stop apologizing. Look, I'm just, I'm saying some crazy shit. I don't want to offend people. But thank you again for the super chat. Tampon Vampire returns. Thank you for the 5. He says, O-line is ass. Facts. But Raiola has never thrown the ball away. He tried once and threw a pick last week. Did he? Yeah, he did try to throw it away last week. That was weird. He needs to throw it away. He needs to burn the ball. He needs to just stop taking sacks when he knows they're coming. We are not new to sacks. He got sacked 7 times, 2 weeks ago against Michigan State. We know what's coming. Throw it away. Be prepared. You have to be as much of a quarterback who's looking for your target downfield as much as you have to be the quarterback who's ready to burn the ball when you have pressure in your face. I know it's a unique skill, but when you're a 5-star quarterback and you're getting paid the money you're getting paid, figure out a way to get it done. Losing yards in those situations is punishing. Dylan Raiola. Time for a screen share. Dylan Raiola had 13 carries for negative 34 yards. Okay. He had a long of 17. He had one run for 17. He had another run for 6 or 7. I don't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. The point is this. He got sacked for 50 freaking yards tonight. 50 yards of field position. Burn the goddamn ball. Again, I got to take a breath. Allie, thank you for being a member. Thank you for the $5 super chat. convincing us that the team is locked in, then failing at all facets of the game feels like a slap in the face. We all got slapped in the face, Allie. And I'm not sure it was with a hand. That's the most disrespectful part. It wasn't like a simple slap. It was the most degrading slap we could have felt tonight. Jake, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think Rule not definitively saying he is not going to Penn State had anything to do with tonight? And at if we fire Unk, does Dylan leave? Okay, 2 questions. One, does Dylan leave if Donnie gets fired? No, I don't think that will be a concern. I think they know that change is needed. It's not going to be a personal thing. It's going to be the fit wasn't right, and you just got to get some new blood, some new energy in that room. Not concerned about Dylan leaving in that regard. Now, talking about the thing with Rule not giving a definitive answer as to whether he'd leave or not, I don't think that matters. I don't think that was a distraction. He came out and said something very positive yesterday on the Pat McAfee show. It was so positive, in fact, that I think the entire team rallied behind that. Obviously, the fan base did, and I think that uplifted some spirits. So, no, I don't think those 2 things are anything I would be concerned about. I think someone said Matt Rule's at the podium. I'd love to hear what Matt Rule had to say when he was there. Tyler, thank you for being a member of the Corn Craze Army. I appreciate you. A lot of comments about fire Donnie. Terry says if Donnie goes, Dylan will go. I don't necessarily agree with that. Like I said a minute ago. Jason says 26 sacks. I assume 26 sacks on the year. That's freaking abysmal. Minnesota had 0 sacks in their previous 2 games. Program record 9 tonight. Rest in peace. Again, fire Donovan Raiola. No hard feelings. I hope you get another job. I know you have a rich brother, so worst case, he can pay your rent. Nebraska needs to make a change if they want to be better. And tonight was an indictment on the offensive line. Tonight was the proof that the offensive line is as bad as we've talked about them being. By the way, I want to shout out a couple of players who have some clean stat lines. We'll go with Luke Lindenmeyer, 4 catches for 52 yards. Fantastic game by him. He did what he could. You have Quinn Clark with a catch for 43. That was nice. And Isaiah dropped a couple balls. I'm not giving him the nod tonight. Emmett Johnson, as much as I respect his efforts, getting to 100 total yards with 19 touches, Emmett didn't have the game we had hoped for. You know, I'm glad that he was able to go back to his hometown, but, you know, wasn't the best performance. Javen Wright, 12 total tackles, 1 for a loss. Marquise Watson-Trent, 11 tackles, half for a loss and half a sack. Keona Davis had half a sack. I mean, there was some positivity. There wasn't much positivity. It was mostly all bad. It was mostly negativity. And if I would have been at home watching this game alone, it would have been a miserable freaking Friday. I mean, it would have been so disgusting. I'd have been sitting on my couch, just miserable, probably calling my friends, just tapped out of the game. Like, what the hell am I doing with my life? I make Nebraska football content, and they don't have the balls to fire their coach, who can't do the bare minimum in getting their offensive line to protect their 5-star quarterback. The pride and joy of Lincoln, Nebraska. Trenton, I can't even drink because I have to get my blood drawn tomorrow morning. Brother, I feel bad for you. Tonight's the night. Tonight's the night to just rip it. Jordan says, hey, question, was I the only one that saw 37 really ruin things for us? Which parts by number 37? I mean, there was a missed, like he was on defense. He had the receiver in the end zone. I believe the receiver caught the ball over him. Outside of that, I didn't feel like he had that bad of a game, did he? I mean, there were some missed tackles, just some down bad moments. I'm opening Twitter right now, see what you guys have to say. Oh, we better go to Sam Pittman and hand him a blank check. That's fair. I'm not surprised by that comment. Wolverine Nation says, Corn Craze, look at the bright side. Penn State will no longer go after Rule. The franchise farmer. O-line sucks. D-line sucks. Just complete trash. Pathetic. Donnie's going to get Dylan killed. Sure feels like that at this rate. My dad's text to me, I can't watch Nebraska. Too frustrating. Let's get that in focus. Just if you guys haven't seen, he went and turned the Dodgers on. Hopefully the Dodgers covered for him. Oh, me and Divine doing our little flex pose at the bar. Yeah, Twitter's popping tonight. Minnie Hunt. Thank you, Minnie, for coming with me tonight. Thank you for my drinks all night, Minnie. My 3 beers that kept me sane, apparently. She says, not even a touchdown, not one. How is this reality? Minnie, I'll say it again. You didn't cheer hard enough. If you would have cheered louder, Nebraska probably would have won this game. That goes for all of you. You guys didn't cheer hard enough. You didn't pray hard enough. Apparently, God wasn't on our side. Trojan, Dale. He says, you guys have great fans. You guys deserve better. That game was shit. Brother, I thought it was going to be something positive. Why'd you just dig it in? Why'd you just slap me in the face? What the hell? Oh, God, it's crazy coming from a Trojan fan that we deserve better and we have great fans. You know how down bad USC fans feel? You guys know how connected I am to USC. You know all my friends went there. They text me crazy about Lincoln Riley, about the entire roster, the staff, whatever. It's been, ongoing for years now. Very tumultuous ride over there in LA. USC fans feeling bad for you really knows you've hit the fucking deep end. Hey, Dale, thank you for being here. Melanie says, can Archie play O-line? Fuck, it's a great question. Dylan might be a little slow, TPH, brother. You guys make me laugh. You guys are crazy. Dylan's slow? Let's not, come on. He's not slow. Dylan's a smart kid. Dylan's legit. That's funny as hell, though. Evan, thank you for being a member. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Obviously wanted to win. Evan, if you didn't want to win, get the hell out of here. But I am still in a good mood overall because I proposed to my longtime girlfriend last night and she said yes. I'm 1-0 this week, GBR. Evan, if you would have had the balls to propose to a girl who might have said no, I would have had to give you a freaking trophy. But on a real note, congratulations. I'm happy that your girlfriend said yes to you. Hopefully you guys make babies and you have a long, prosperous life. I'm really happy for you that you're getting married. Honestly, you guys send me pictures of you and your girl with your proposal stuff. I want to see it. You've been in my chat so many times. I don't even know what you look like. Like, send me something. Let me get involved in this relationship. Serial was out there, Sean, at the bar with us tonight with Minnie and I and David. Great guy, very cool. He's been in our super chat and our live streams for a long time. So it was nice to hang out with him. I'm telling you, my favorite part, although this whole experience of being a Nebraska fan is generally freaking miserable, I get to meet a lot of people, have a lot of friends, and have fun talking to all them. So there are some positives to being a Nebraska fan, but the rest of it is shit. Fuck everything, go Big Red. You guys know the vibes. Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Emmett Johnson had 63 rushing yards tonight. Dylan Raiola lost 63 yards from 9 sacks, and we lost 65 yards on 6 penalties, and our defense couldn't tackle. Noah, are you trying to rub it into my face? I know that they lost 65 yards on 6 penalties. It's disgusting, isn't it, Noah? Yeah, this team's got some work to do. Just sitting here twiddling my thumbs, waiting for the day, right? Waiting for the day when I get to talk about this team being serious. So here's the positive. The more bad we see, the faster Rule can correct it, right? So last year we saw some bad, Rule fixed it. This year we're seeing more bad, Rule's going to fix it. A couple years ago we saw some bad. My point is every year it's gotten better. It takes time to fix it. It's not an overnight solution, but there is positive. It is constructive. Rule's doing his best, I think. Steven's out of his fucking mind. I'm praying for Penn State to take Matt Rule. Steven, I'm praying Penn State takes you. Okay? Steve says, Nebraska guy living in Minnesota. So tired of this mid-ass team beating us. Spent over $500 on tickets. What a waste. Steve, $500 on tickets? What'd you take? 42 people to the game? The hell are we doing? $500 on tickets. I spent $520 a piece on tickets last week for Nebraska for Oklahoma and Texas. But that's OU Texas. Nebraska, Minnesota on a Friday? Who the hell is Minnesota? You must have been 50-yard line, second row. You must have been. I feel bad for you though, Steve. Being a Nebraska fan in Minnesota, start there. You got to freaking be around a bunch of Minnesota fans. Wow. I'm sorry for your loss tonight. Jose says firing anyone named Raiola is completely out of the question. If it is, then that's going to make all of us have a side eye toward Matt Rule. I promise you, Matt Rule will be getting a lot of looks if he won't fire this guy. Minnie says, I only left the game early one other time, and that was also with Connor and Boulder. Maybe he's not cheering hard enough. Minnie, get the hell out of here. Do not try and twist this back on me. Seabear, absolute embarrassment. At least all the rule speculation can end and maybe we can focus. Yeah, maybe this locked them back in. Maybe this was the wake-up call they needed. Maybe this was the slap in the face to remind them that they aren't good. They're just slightly above average. Tonight, below average. But in general, slightly above average. And if you want to win, step up and beat teams. I apologize. Beat teams you're supposed to. Because I'm tired of losing to teams that you're supposed to beat. It's just... Saray says, at least Miami lost 2. Okay. Yeah, I mean, at least we're not the only ones down in the dumps. The difference is Miami only has 1 loss on the year. Nebraska has 2 losses on the year. Nebraska cannot afford another loss. What am I saying? I'm still fantasizing about playoff shit. Guys, slap some sense into me. Throw water on my face. Somebody just drown me at this point. Andy says, where were y'all at? Sucks I moved to Flagstaff. We were at Whiskey Row in Scottsdale. Hugh says, I want a drink, but I'm trucking. Throw some dip in, brother. Do something. Is that what truckers do? They throw those little tabs in? I don't know. I don't do the tobacco stuff. Hugh, I hope you're having a fun drive with me talking to you, yelling into the mic. Hopefully I can be some entertainment since that game wasn't fucking entertaining. At least you guys got me. Nebraska can't show up for you, but I always will. On God. Mr. H, Northwestern will play us tough. USC will crush Nebraska. Okay, let's not get ridiculous. UCLA has more speed and talent. That's probably true. Iowa will play us just like Minnesota for the win. Don't disagree with that. You can't beat anyone in the Big Ten losing both sides of the line. That's the truest of them all. Listen, Mr. H, Northwestern will play us tough. I believe Nebraska can still win that game. I believe they will win that game. Big bounce back spot at home. USC will crush Nebraska. I don't buy into that idea. I think that's going to be another Michigan-style game. Nebraska will play up to the level of the competition. At home, blackout, inspired, 3-point game either way. UCLA has more speed and talent. Equal speed, equal talent, in my opinion. Nebraska's slightly deeper. UCLA is going to be a tough matchup. Right now, I would take Nebraska to win that game. USC would probably be a loss, so that'd be a bounce back win. Iowa's probably a loss. Yeah, you know, it's tough, Mr. H. I can't predict the future, but I understand your point. Eagle says, maybe we stop making high expectation predictions. That way we can be surprised if they exceed. Are we jinxing them? Eagle, I feel like us expecting 9 wins isn't too much to ask for. They're still or on track for that. And I think when Vegas tells you that the spread should be 7, that Nebraska's a legitimate 7-point team or 7 points better than this team, they should just live up to those expectations. So I think it's the team failing us and not us failing the team. That's just how I'm going to look at it. ET says, I'm in Germany watching the stream Saturday morning, 6 a.m. What a way to wake up. You didn't need caffeine because you got me yelling at you. Hopefully it's good vibes in Germany. They have great beer. I had a bunch of Radlers when I went to Germany. Melanie says, silver lining is the USC game will probably be at night. Thank you for giving me something positive to think about before I go to bed tonight. Cody says, did it not seem like none of the calls went our way? Yeah, there were some questionable calls. But in general, it was Nebraska just got dominated. The calls didn't matter. You know what I mean? Sonny says, I am going to prison for 10 years. Will we be any good when I get out? Sonny, just stay. The way Nebraska's track record is, just stay and don't come out. You won't want to see what this team is going to be in 10 years. Because 10 years ago, was what, 2015? Lincoln, no, not Lincoln. Sorry. Lincoln Riley. What the hell am I talking about? I'm thinking about Pac-12 coaches. Mike Riley. Yeah, no, just stay in jail. This team has not shown that they can improve over the course of 10 years. They're still the same. Nebraska Strong says maybe we can convince Coach Osborne to come out of retirement. I don't know that he would want to coach this team, to be honest. Scott Frost reboot. Interesting thought. No, sir. Cheer harder, Connor, so we can win next time, brother. I cheer so hard sometimes that my freaking voice goes out. You guys have heard me on some live stream. When I cheer so hard, I can't talk after. I got to temper it. You know what I mean? Calm it down. Raphael says, ruining my Friday night. At least it's not ruining your Saturday night, bro. At least your Saturday's good. You got this out of the way so Saturday can be fun. Thank you for not doing this on a Saturday, by the way, Matt Rule. Nebraska, offensive line, Donovan. Doug, thanks for being a member. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Positives. Okay, I'm listening. We might have a night game for the USC game now. One positive. I already have my outfit picked out. Minnie does as well. Rule won't be wanted by Penn State. Unfortunately, I don't think this changes the Penn State situation. Adam Carricker was real optimistic about the score. What did Adam Carricker say? What's Adam Carricker's reaction? I should probably go watch that after this. Terry says, I invented a few new cuss words tonight. At least one of us did, brother. I just recycled the same bullshit I always say. Todd says, if Rule goes to Penn State, could we snag Dabo? I'm convinced the chat just wants to troll me and piss me off. They're talking about if Rule was to leave, could we get James Franklin? Could we get Dabo Sweeney? What's freaking next? Mel Tucker? Stop. You guys just want to make me mad. People seek reactions in the chat. Dabo? Todd, go home. Chill. No. No. I got to calm down after the Dabo comment. What are you going to say next? Hire Sharon Moore? Devin. Fire Donovan. Let Raiola go. And put that money in the trenches. Hire an NFL DC and let Holgerson run spread with a scrambler and bring in a power back. Crazy. Okay. Let's unpack this. Fire Donovan. Check. Let Raiola go and put that money in the trenches. Okay, fine. I can get on board. Check. Hire an NFL DC. Who and why NFL? We want a proven college coordinator who knows how to adjust to these Big Ten offenses. Okay. So I don't know if I can get on board with that part. Let Holgerson run spread with a scrambler. Holgerson's not staying at Nebraska without Raiola. He's going to go be a coach. He's going to be a head coach probably. So those things just don't line up. Bring in a power back. Okay. Power. Who right now has a successful power back in college football? You need a 1-2 punch realistically. Don't let Dante Dowdell go. I think that was a better way to phrase that. But no, I get your point. I'm not fully off what you're saying. I could be convinced. If we were to see a total reset, I wouldn't be upset. Patrick says the word that I love the most. Lane Kiffin? ? I don't know what the question mark is. I don't know what this means at all. I love Lane Kiffin, but I don't know what you're talking about without context. Stop saying Dabo. Just no Dabo. What are we talking about, Dabo? You guys are disrespectful. Joey says, how do you know if TJ wouldn't have changed something? Very well could have. TJ could have come in. He could have gotten the ball out quicker. I'm just not betting on the fact that TJ would have been, that much better than Raiola tonight. Did Raiola take all of those sacks or did his line give up the sacks? That's the question you have to ask. Did Raiola take 4? The offensive line gave up 5, right? What's the difference? And then if you had TJ in, would TJ have avoided the 4 that Dylan gave up? I don't know. I'm guessing not. I'm guessing TJ would be just as hesitant or just as spooked about throwing interceptions as Dylan is. I don't know, but they're coached by the exact same quarterbacks coach, right? They're coached by the exact same staff. I don't know. There's no world where you bench Dylan Raiola to put TJ in. So I don't even fantasize or hypothesize about that scenario. I don't even care. It's just like, if Dylan's here, it's ride or die Dylan. That's the bottom line. The only way you're seeing TJ is if something, God forbid, happened to Dylan, he was to get injured. I don't want to see that. But yeah, no one important. Get the hell out of my chat. You're trying to piss me off. You guys think you're funny. You guys think you're freaking funny. Noah, real talk, thoughts on Kenny Dillingham. I mean, Kenny Dillingham is an electric personality, solid coach, proved it right out the gate, is of the Dan Lanning tree, young, inspired, exciting, fun. I don't hate Kenny Dillingham. Now, what are you asking me? Thoughts on Kenny Dillingham for the Nebraska job? If Matt Rule was to not be here, yeah, I'd flirt with the idea. I don't hate that. He reminds me a bit of I guess a Dan Lanning in terms of how he's excited and passionate, right? So I could get down with it. I mean, we got a coach right now, so I'm not too worried. But yeah. Sawed says, need a hug. I need 2, brother. Maybe 3. I'm going to text somebody right after this and tell them, come over. I need a freaking hug. Let's see. Mike Gundy's number. Yeah, just the troll. You guys just want to rub it in. You just want a reaction. Mitchell, haven't talked to you in a minute. What's up, brother? Thank you for being a member. He says, I'm tired of people saying to put in TJ. Thank you for doubling down on that with me. What is he going to do? Probably nothing more than Raiola could. Dylan doesn't even have time to blink at times. Yes, absolutely abysmal. Getting wrecked consistently. Bill Belichick. You guys are sick. Sick people. Minnie says 6-24 is never even in my worst nightmare. Yeah, I thought a worst case scenario, Nebraska was going to be competitive. To not be competitive in a Big Ten game in year 3 is disgusting. And let's all be on the same page here. Nebraska was not competitive tonight. They did not show up in any facet. Now, to start the game, they did. It felt like they were off to a good start. They tried their hardest. But from the second, third, and fourth quarter on, they looked like shit. They looked like they didn't want to be there. Make them practice on Sunday at this point. Know what? I'm not even deleting the post. Connor did this to himself. Are we talking about the trolling, brother? I did do it to myself. David, thank you for the $5 super chat. Does anyone else feel like our OC puts out just bland and predictable plays, even though he's supposed to be an offensive genius? Yes, at times. I don't know what the answer is there. I don't know if it's because he knows his offensive line can't protect Dylan long enough. I don't know if it's because the receivers can't get separation downfield. I don't know if it's because he doesn't feel like he has a 1-2 punch at running back that he can sub in. He has to rely on one guy. I don't know. A lot of questions I wish that the media would ask in the press conferences. Someone get me a press conference credential. Let me get in there and ask the tough questions. Let me get in there and ask the things that people want to know. Because I could get a list together real freaking quick. Dave, thank you for the 100. Thank you for being a member. I blame Pat Kraft for this pathetic showing. I have no other explanations. Just put my kids to bed. Now it's my turn. Dreams of college game day in Lincoln for USC died tonight. Playoff dreams flatulated itself tonight. My dreams will be interesting tonight. Good night. Dave, that was a lot of nights for me to read. Thank you again for the support. Thank you for coming up and getting the picture with me tonight. That was awesome. I love creating memories with you, you know? You know what Dave said tonight? He walked up to me wearing his like Nebraska Hawaiian style shirt. He looks at me. He's like, what's up, Connor? He goes, and I start talking to him. He's like, you know who I am? I was like, yeah, we've met before. He goes, oh, I just didn't know if you'd remember who I was because, you know, you got like 20,000 subscribers. I'm like, brother, I looked you in the freaking eyes and said, what's up at USC 1 year ago, wearing this exact same jersey, mind you. And he thought I'd forget him. Dave and I had a great conversation tonight. Good dude. Love the friends I've made through this channel. But going back to what he said, I like to blame Pat Kraft. I like to make that the excuse. I unfortunately won't be able to use that excuse since you took it from me. But if that's what helps you sleep tonight, Dave, I hope it freaking works. Evan, thank you for being a member. Thank you for the $5 super chat. This is the Indiana-esque letdown I was worried about. But remember, what happened last year after that game? We almost beat Ohio State. Well, thank God we are almost going to beat Northwestern. Thank God they are going to be in a competitive battle with Northwestern at home. Is that what you're trying to say, Evan? I think you're saying they're going to beat Northwestern. I'm confident they will too. They're in for a big bounce back spot. If they do lose, the wheels fall off. I'm going to be slapped again. And I don't know if I can take another slapping, to be honest with you. Yeah. You guys are so active in chat tonight. I appreciate it. No more black shirts from D-Train. Kelly Wood says, what about PJ Fleck? Connor, give him your hair regimen and he might come. What hair? I'm rocking a 1 right now. I'm about to shave this down to a 0 after this stream. Fred says, Connor, it won't be a why not put Latif in deal. It will be a when we put him in because our O-line will get Dylan injured. I like that. Good way to twist that. I mean, look, Dylan's not getting injured. Dylan's a strong, big boy. And he takes some hits, but he bounces back up. And he always looks good afterwards. We haven't seen him get injured or look like shit after he got hit. So shout out to him for at least being able to take the hits. Judy says, hey, Judy. Hi, I missed you. She says, Carricker says he doesn't want any excuses. Excuses for what? The team being bad? The team not being very good? Or what excuses? I'll have to watch what character I had to say. Minnie, thank you for the $20 super chat. She says, here's my hug. We will live Smother Day. Minnie, are you drunk? Minnie's been drinking tonight. I saw her with at least 7 White Claws. Thank you again for being a moderator, for the $20 super chat, and for the hug. But I think you're lit off White Claws or whatever you drank. Yeah, Minnie, you're lit. I don't know what that means. Fred, what will you ask, Connor? How can we be even more awesome next week? I don't see you asking tough questions. No. I'd walk in and I'd say, look, we've seen abysmal line play for multiple years, back to back to back. And what is the solution if not getting rid of the person who leads that room? It'd be a very simple answer. It'd be, well, we need to block. He could give one, right? But at least someone would ask him to make him start thinking, holy shit, someone called me out on not getting rid of the main culprit, right? You've got to ask the tough questions to start to ignite a thought, and someone's got to be the one who does it. I probably would. I wouldn't worry, because if they were going to be like, yo, if you ask a question like that, we're taking your credential, freaking take it. I've got a YouTube channel. I'll go and yell at the freaking screen. Don't worry. Hang on. I got to scroll back up in chat. I was reading some things that I appreciated. By the way, I try to read all the chat. As we get later into the show, and there's only like 600 people watching right now, I can usually read it better. So I'm just scrolling through slowly but surely. Thank you, Roger, for the positive of the night. Did anyone mention how awesome our facilities are? No one freaking did. We have fantastic facilities. This is a great place. Lincoln, Nebraska. We have a lead belly. And Barry's is freaking awesome, which Barry's actually is awesome. Shout out to Barry's. They always let me in with no cover and getting to skip the line. Mark, if you're watching, thank you always. But my point is this. We need to start appreciating what Nebraska does have and not focusing on what they don't have. Because what they don't have is a good football team. But what they do have is everything else that comes with being a cool college town. Matt Rule really knows how to sell that. JR, thank you for being a member. Devastated, man. If the Penn State stuff affects us, imagine what it's doing to the players. Would be okay if Rule left tomorrow. Would be okay if Rule left tomorrow? You guys have taken a sharp left turn. Adam, thank you for the $20 super chat. Do you think Dylan can be an offensive lineman? I do. With, what's he, 240 right now? 230, sorry, I don't want to be disrespectful. He's not overweight like that. If he added 70 pounds on, which honestly, with an intense eating regimen, I went from 190 to 212 my senior year of college, or my senior year of high school to my freshman year of college. That's like 32. And I wasn't even going to Nebraska. You know what I mean? I didn't have the food budget that guy does. Dylan could put on a good 70 and be a starting right guard next year. Maybe that's a question someone should ask at the presser. Might as well protect himself since nobody else can. Sam, he says, just finished my reaction and uploaded it, and I was ranting on Nebraska's behalf. Thank you, Sam, for freaking out with us, because we're all on the same page. Nebraska strong. Connor, we love you. You are awesome. Connor, if you could have any available head coach in FBS, who would you want for our Huskers? Go Big Red. Matt Rule is my number one choice. So long as he can fire the right guy, right? So long as he can make the necessary adjustments, I'm confident he will. That being said, many of you in this chat know I love me some Lane Kiffin. So that would be the one. If it wasn't Matt Rule, I would dream of Lane Kiffin. Andrew, thank you for being a member. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Nebraska had 7 losing seasons in a row before 7-6 last year. 8-5 is a success this year. National championship next year is possible. Andrew, I'm not going to roast you, but chat may get fucking harsh with this comment. I didn't mean to bring this upon you, but you will get some reaction. I'm not the one doing it, though. It's them, not me. I'm not responsible for the chat. Stay positive. Patience, GBR, greatness is coming. We are due. Okay. Nebraska had 7 losing seasons in a row before going 7-6 last year. 8-5 is a success this year. I agree with you. 8-4 is a success this year. I agree with you. 8-5, I would be a little bit disappointed. You got to win your bowl game. Nebraska has so many young players. They're not going to have any opt-outs. You got to win that bowl game. 9-4 is a success this year. Everything else I agree with. Co says, what happened to Rocco? I don't know. You see Rocco in the hospital? No, I did not see that. I do not know anything about that. I've been on this stream. I didn't even know he was out. I heard someone say that he wasn't playing at some point, but I wasn't paying attention. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know. Lawrence said, Connor, you said earlier this week, appreciate the good moments and brace yourself for the worst. I think we saw one of the worst moments of the Rule era ever. Yeah, I did prepare you guys. I prepared you for the wrong thing because I prepared you for Rule leaving Nebraska for Penn State. However, my message was clear. My message should have been taken and interpreted quickly so that you guys wouldn't have had to not be braced. I was braced for this. Dylan's the only good thing about this game. Is he the only good thing? Was Dylan that good? Dylan had some good moments, Minnie, but really, would we agree? Would we all agree? I don't know. Andrew, I'm sorry. I'm seeing you're getting roasted in the chat. I really, really didn't mean for that to happen. Rocco broke his finger, but it was a bad break. Damn. Damn, that's unfortunate. Feel bad for Rocco. I hope he gets better. I hate when Nebraska players get injured, you know? It's tough. Fred, thank you for the $2 super chat. 8-4 is not success. Need 9+ wins this year. Fred, agreed. 8-4 with the 9th win in the bowl game. That's success in my eyes. 8-4 with a loss in the bowl game. A little bit underwhelming. I'm on the same page. Fred and I are rocking together. Yeah, it was a tough game. Archie was good this game. I don't know, man. I don't freaking know. I'm pissed. Trenton says, I'm pissed off about tonight, but then I have to think this is the youngest team in the Big Ten. Fair. They will have the growing pains, but if they stick together, they might be a better team next year. Fair. Agreed. They're going to be a better team next year if they stick together. I do agree with that. So, guys, on that note, I got to go pack. I'm going to Vegas in the morning. I'm going to go watch football with my dad. All Saturday. I come back Sunday. We'll have a live stream probably on Monday night. I hope you guys enjoyed my live stream because I know for freaking sure you did not enjoy the game. I enjoyed my time with you. I appreciate you guys and all your support and hanging out with me after all these games, you know? D-Train says, appreciate you. It's got to be tough hosting, and they keep doing this to us. It hurts, and I'm a Bears fan. Oof. Both my teams play the same way at times. Lead the league and getting your QB sacked is crazy. Yeah, it's freaking tough, brother. Anyway, again, thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for hanging out. Fuck everything, go Big Red. And until next time, thank you for being here. I will see you in the next one. Go Big Red.